Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into our Atlanta Falcons Today YouTube channel. Before we jump into today's prediction of the 5 big bold predictions for the Falcons in 2021 that I myself have made for you, make sure you guys go down below and subscribe for more great videos just like this. We'll do a mailbag video in the next couple of days. Obviously, more news and rumors as we approach training camp. All of that can be right in your subscription box if you go down below and hit subscribe down below. Let's jump into today's Atlanta Falcons video with a little bit of a twist. I wanted to jump into my 5 big 2021 predictions for the upcoming season. Now, you can take this 2 different ways. I could have approached this as let's just throw out some ridiculous predictions like Matt Ryan wins MVP and oh my goodness, the Falcons are the winners in the NFC South. They win the Super Bowl. That's very bold, and you can do that. I want to give you bold predictions, but also realistic predictions as well. They're kind of realistic bold predictions, what I'm calling them here in today's video. We're going to do 5. We'll start with number 1, and that is that Arthur Smith's offense thrives. Now, it's something that a lot of Atlanta Falcon fans really are hoping happens, and I think the Falcons need to happen because that's the whole point in hiring Arthur Smith, is that he's not the bland, vanilla offensive coordinator that we saw last year with Dirk Cutter. He's supposedly one of the great offensive minds, young offensive minds right now in the National Football League. And listen, I think the Tennessee Titans stats last year really back it up. I mean, look at what they did in 2020. They were 4th in points per game. They were 3rd in yards per game. They were 23rd in passing. They were 8th in passing touchdowns and 2nd overall in rushing yards per game as well. Now, of course, they had Derrick Henry. That is obviously going to go ahead and help out any teams in terms of their overall rushing, but they still had Ryan Tannehill throwing for 33 touchdowns and leading the Titans to another very successful season on the heels of a previous successful season under Arthur Smith. So I am predicting that they're going to go ahead and have a great year offensively, despite the fact they lose Julio Jones. I think Matt Ryan is going to be the biggest beneficiary of the Arthur Smith hiring out of anybody on this roster. Now, a lot of other things have to go well. We'll talk about that here in a second. Running game has to work out. Kyle Pitts has to work out. Offensive line has to work out. But I think the scheme overall, the play calling of Arthur Smith is going to be very, very successful. And I think the Arthur Smith offense is going to thrive, and Matt Ryan specifically will thrive in his offense. That's something that obviously needs to happen. The Falcons want to be a potential playoff team in 2021. All right, number 2 on my list here. How about this? AJ Terrell becomes a star. Now, not just, AJ Terrell plays well in 2021, because he played really well in 2020. I mean, overall, AJ Terrell was a pretty darn good cornerback for a rookie last season. I think he becomes a star this year and emerges as one of the best young cornerbacks in the National Football League. How's that for a bold prediction, right? I think that Terrell has all the tools. He had all of the different options in Clemson in terms of going against really good receivers in practice and also in games. And he did, arguably a pretty darn good job last year. Was he perfect? No, but what rookie cornerback is perfect? Even Jalen Ramsey struggled his first year in Jacksonville. I think Terrell's taking a big step, a big leap from where he was this time last year to where he is right now, a full offseason, a full training camp, no weird COVID protocols. I mean, they're going to be able to just waltz in there and give him number 1 cornerback reps. He has no competition on the outside. I think Terrell is going to 100% go ahead and thrive. And guess what? The Falcons need him to, because the NFC South, much like the rest of the NFC, has a bunch of good wide receivers. Like, these are guys Terrell will play twice a year. He'll play Michael Thomas twice. He'll play the very good pairing of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin twice with the quarterback Tom Brady. He'll also have to go ahead and play Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. I mean, the Carolina Panthers offense is very much under the radar right now. Can Sam Darnold play well or not? But he's got weapons. Got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. He's got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. We're going to get to learn really quickly just how great Terrell is. He was very good last year. I think he becomes a star this year and blossoms into a surefire number 1 cornerback and one of the better young ones in the National Football League. Now, speaking of wide receivers in the NFC South, who do you guys think is the best wide receiver in the NFC South? There's a lot of good ones, right? You want to say Calvin Ridley, that's fine. You still have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin, you have Michael Thomas, as we said, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. Who do you think is the best wide receiver in the NFC South? Let me know right now down below. All right, he's not technically a wide receiver, but he's going to play like one this year. I think he has numbers very similar to one, and that is Kyle Pitts. And he, of course, has his jersey still up and available for you guys to go ahead and grab before the start of training camp by visiting chatsports.com/Pitts and picking up your official Kyle Pitts jersey to start the season. I mean, it comes in all the different colors, white, red, black, men's, women's, kids, all the different sizes that you could possibly want. And if you go down below right now, you find our link to get you right to the website, chatsports.com/Pitts. Pick it up because these are selling like hotcakes. And everything I've seen in Atlanta is that these are going to be behind Matt Ryan's jersey, obviously, the number 1 jersey probably worn by Falcon fans entering Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in 2021. So go down below and click the link to go ahead and pick up your official Nike, this is the real deal, Kyle Pitts jersey. All right, we'll move on to bold prediction number 3. How about this? How about Lindstom and Kaleb McGary breakout? Now, Chris Lindstom and Kaleb McGary haven't been bad. I don't think they've been awful right guard and right tackles, respectively. But since being drafted, and both in the first round a couple of years ago, they've been very much up and down. They've had injuries, they've had poor starts, they've had good starts. I think this is the year, in year 3, where Lindstom and McGary break out, and that great wall on the right side of the offensive line becomes what it was always meant to be by spending 2 first-round draft picks and trading back up for Kaleb McGary. Now, I think the offensive line as a whole is going to be good. Right now, you would think Gono's going to be the starter at left guard. Is that going to happen due to the injury he had a couple of weeks ago? Maybe Dahlman or Andrews or even Mayfield mixes in there. There's going to be open competition. But I think the fact that there is competition at even the right tackle spot, when it talks about McGary possibly losing his job to one of the rookies, is going to go ahead and fuel Kaleb McGary to become the best version of the right tackle spot that he can possibly be. I mean, the guy's a freak. You see him in person. I met him in person. He's massive. I mean, I saw him at Falcons training camp his rookie year, and he is a huge person. Lindstrom's a little bit smaller, but still very mobile, very agile, and able to go ahead and get to the next level to create open lanes, hopefully for Mike Davis here in 2021. This is another, again, big key factor in the Falcons having a successful year, I think, is the offensive line. But I say my prediction is that Lindstom and McGary definitely break out, and we sit back and go, oh, yeah, that's why they spent first-round draft picks in the same draft on a right guard and a right tackle. You guys think the Falcons are going to have let's say, top 15 offensive line in 2021? It's going to be interesting, right? Well, they have a top 15 offensive line in 2021. If you think they will, type Y down below for yes. If you think they will not, type N down below for no. All right, bold prediction number 4 is the one kind of negative bold prediction, because I think bold predictions should be, positive things. But I do predict the Falcons will regret not drafting a running back. Now, for as much as people like Mike Davis, and I get ripped all the time on air, and get ripped all the time here, and get ripped on Twitter that I'm a Mike Davis hater, and Mike Davis is a really good player, and he was really good last year for Christian McCaffrey. Okay, I understand that. But you look at the stats, he wasn't really good. He was pretty good, right? He was a decent fill-in running back, a number 2 truly behind Christian McCaffrey. And then, 14 games as a starter, 165 carries, 642 yards, and 6 touchdowns. If that's the number line this year, he'll be a disappointment. And the Falcons will 100% regret the fact that they did not go ahead and draft any of the many running backs they could have had at multiple points, Javonte Williams, in this year's 2021 NFL Draft. The real issue is not just Mike Davis, it's the guys behind him, right? Kadri Allison, completely unproven. Patterson's a special teams guy. Brooks James is unproven. And we like Javion Hawkins, but Javion Hawkins is an undrafted free agent, which might not even make the roster, because that's what happens when you're an undrafted free agent and not actually taken anywhere in the 2021 NFL Draft. And so I worry about the running back spot. I was also going to go ahead and put here the Falcons will make a trade for a running back, but I don't think they're going to do that during the offseason or during the season. I think they'll just kind of live with what they have. If it works out well, great. If not, look for running back to be a big pickup for the Falcons, maybe at a free agency next year or at least during the 2022 NFL Draft. All right, let's go ahead and jump into my final prediction here. And this is my 5th one of my 5 big bold predictions. This one I really hope comes true. I think the Falcons will stay in the playoff hunt all year long. Now, is that me saying the Falcons are going to win the NFC South and they're going to be the 3 seed, or they're going to make the postseason? No. Listen, I'm trying to be a little realistic here. Last couple of years, Falcons were eliminated very early on. They had no chance of even being close to a wild card spot at early parts 2 years ago, and even halfway through the season last year, we all understood the Falcons were not going to go ahead and be a postseason team. I think that Atlanta can make a run late in the season to maybe get the 6 or 7 seed. Because as you look at it, right, I mean, you talk about last year, you have the 1, 2, 3, 4. The odds of them winning the NFC South aren't that great. I'm not going to make that crazy of a prediction. But the Bears last year were the 7th seed at 8-8, and there were a bunch of teams right around 8-8. I mean, 8-8 seems to be the lucky number for being the 7th overall seed in the playoffs. Now, to be 8-9 this year because there are 17 games, or it would be 9-8, right? There's going to be an extra game mixed in there. But right about 500 is all you need to be at. And I think all year long the Falcons will hover around that point, meaning they will be relevant and in the playoff hunt here in 2021. Plus, as we have mentioned, and I think it's important to go ahead and note, the Falcons' strength of schedule is pretty easy. Now, the strength of schedule takes what last year's teams had in terms of record and then puts it all together in terms of a number. And so if you look at the list right now, the Falcons have the 30th easiest strength of schedule. Philadelphia has the easiest strength of schedule. The Cowboys have the next easiest. Then Atlanta at 30, then Tampa Bay, which kind of stinks for us in the NFC South. That means Brady has a very easy schedule. But I digress. It's important to note here that, yes, just because I'm saying they're going to be a playoff team does not mean that I just am guessing that. I think you can go ahead and pair not only Arthur Smith, but all the additions, the offense as it currently stands, and the strength of schedule, or I should say the easiness of schedule, will go ahead and benefit Atlanta in a big way going forward here in 2021. So there you go. There are my 5 biggest bold predictions. Smith offense thrives. Terrell becomes a star. Lindstom and McGary break out. The Falcons will regret not drafting a running back. And then finally here, the Falcons will stay in the playoff hunt all season long. I want to finish on this question. Give me your boldest Falcons prediction for 2021. How bold are you feeling, right? Now, don't go down and type Super Bowl, because I mean, listen, we want them to, but will they? Let's be realistic here. But give me your boldest Falcons prediction for the 2020 season down below right now. All right, ultimate for today here on Atlanta Falcons Today. Hopefully you agree and like my 5 bold predictions. If you do, then go ahead and subscribe. Plenty more videos like this in the next couple of days and weeks, as we always keep you guys up to date on the latest Atlanta Falcons news and rumors that you need to hear and you need to know as we get closer and closer to not only training camp, but I think we're like, a month away from the August 12th preseason game against the Dolphins. It's August 12th. It's one of those weeks. It's like the second weekend in August. It's going to be here quickly, so be ready, be up to date by subscribing and being a part of the channel down below. Ultimate for today on Atlanta Falcons Today, I am your host, Thomas Mott, as we go ahead and sign off as you do the rest of your day.